So Acho with the Rose Gold. Which quarterback is more valuable to their team like that is to your tie? Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers?
This is a really good topic, really good question, but a very simple answer. Aaron Rodgers is the most valuable player in the NFL, so how could he not be the most valuable player to his team as opposed to Tom Brady?
Next topic.
That's where it starts.
Wow. That was right under my nose. I ain't see it. That's hilarious.
You're the most valuable player in the league. Surely you're most valuable to your team, but I can't just give you a 30-second take, so let me back it up with some substance. Let me back it up with some context, and let me earn this check. In the biggest games of Tom Brady's season this season, in the biggest games of Tom Brady's season this season, Tom Brady hasn't been the best player, nor the most important player. Let's go to the game we all remember most. The Buccaneers beat the Packers early on, 38-10. How did they win that game? Because Aaron Rodgers threw one of 3 pick sixes of his career. He goes into that game having only thrown 2 pick sixes, and he nearly throws 2 in that game. That's shout out to the Buccaneers defense. Okay, the next biggest game, the most memorable game we think of this season, Tom Brady and those Buccaneers versus the Saints. But in that game, Tom Brady, they dismantle the Saints, if you will, 30-20. Tom Brady had the second worst completion percentage all season, his 6th worst passer rating all season, threw for his 3rd fewest yards all season. So, in the most dominant games that Tampa has had this season, Tom Brady hasn't been the most dominant player. On the flip side, Aaron Rodgers, the 2 games you think of this season, most important, most impressive, if you will. The Packers, they beat the Saints in New Orleans, week 3, 37-30. Aaron Rodgers, he went off that game. Passer rating, 108, 3 tugs, no picks. Aaron Rodgers balled. Okay. How about in that playoff game versus the Rams? The #1 defense in the league, if you will. Aaron Rodgers, once again, 2 tugs, no picks, did his thing, making dudes jump for the ball, running it in for touchdowns. So the Packers' success is contingent, exclusively contingent, if I can use 2 big words back to back. The Packers' success is exclusively contingent upon Aaron Rodgers' performance, while the Buccaneers, they have success even when Tom Brady don't play well. That's the difference.
Okay, Acho, I disagree with you. You should have stayed high. When you were floating around there, hey, this is your captain, 30,000 feet. You should have stayed up there, but then you started to descend. You got stuck in them weeds. You start parsing game and game.
I had to.
Your first line was enough. If you could have just walked off set with the Rose Gold, you would have won.
We had 1 hour, 59 minutes left.
Hey, man, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But you stuck around. Now I got to cut you. Tom Brady is more valuable to his team, and I'm going to take a different approach.
Please.
I'm going to start here with the meaning of value. Let's talk about the meaning or what something is worth. Let's talk about Tom Brady and what he means to a mentality, to a team, in terms of them building their culture to even get to this place right here. Because Tampa Bay, without Tom Brady, wouldn't be here right now. But Green Bay, they were just here last year with the same guys. So let's show you the value of Tom Brady, the impact of Tom Brady to this losing team last year that's now at the same level as Aaron Rodgers. One, you have to respect, and I know it's so difficult for you, me, everybody, the combine, to respect intangibles and immeasurables.
That's real.
Because they can't quantify them.
Yes, sir.
You only know them when you see them, and that's after you saw it. You don't see it. You don't have the anticipation, the foresight to see it coming just after the fact. But that's who Tom Brady is. Now, when you look at Tom Brady, one thing jumps out. 6 rings and 9 Super Bowl appearances. Obviously, everyone sees that. And then when you look at Aaron Rodgers, you don't go to the same place in terms of greatness when you're talking about ultimate team success. You go to 1 Super Bowl championship, correct? All right, so what does that do? When you're a player on that team, I've been here before. I played with great Hall of Fame players, rest in peace, Junior Seau, Bruce Smith, Thurman Thomas, Andre Reed, LaDainian Tomlinson, Drew Brees, etc. They take you to a place in imagination because you're like, with them, we can do this. And once your imagination is peaked, guess what? Your motivation all of a sudden starts to turn. And you start to do more. You're almost willed to do more than you even anticipated or thought you could because of the presence of this one guy. But it's not just Tom Brady's presence that has changed everything at Tampa Bay. It's his performance as well. Let's talk about Tom Brady in this system with no continuity in year one versus Aaron Rodgers, who had continuity in year two in the same system. System preferences full screen, please. Look at the win-loss column. Basically the same. Completion percentage. Who in the world would say that Tom Brady outperformed Aaron Rodgers in the first year in the system like this? Passing yards per game. No way. Tom Brady again? Okay, here we go. Yards per attempt. What? Passing touchdowns, interception. You got to be kidding me. Passer rate. Oh, come on. I thought that, that Green Bay's Aaron Rodgers was the most skilled quarterback ever, most talented quarterback ever. But as you know, football is a great game of skill, but a greater game of will. And Tom Brady activates the will of all those around him. Look, can I drop the mic on camera?
Let me get
Speed in.
Let me get this straight. So is your argument...
I don't have an argument. I'm talking to my dog.
Is your discussion point tonight that Tom Brady is thriving more in his year one than Aaron Rodgers is thriving in his year one?
The fact that everyone else, and this is the greatest part about Tom Brady. Seriously, if I had to say in one sentence, take me to another planet and say, who is Tom Brady? I wouldn't even talk about the Super Bowl rings. I would say Tom Brady gets more out of people even if they give less of themselves. Think about that. That's called buy-in. Tom Brady makes you compromise yourself. He says either I need more, come on, or he says, calm down and just play complimentary football in this system. Either way it goes, it adds up to a greater success than even Aaron Rodgers.
I like that.
That's my point.
I like that. And a very good point. Here's the issue at hand.
Okay, let's go.
The issue at hand is that Tom Brady doesn't even need to show up sometimes for the Bucs to win.
I don't know.
And the problem is, I don't know if that's opinion as much as that's fact. Let me take you back.
Let's go.
I ain't got to take you back far. Let me take you back 3 days. How did the Saints lose that game? How did the Bucs win that game? The Bucs scored all of their points off of Saints turnovers.
Yeah, but you got to still score.
You got to get in the end zone.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
a lot of quarterbacks messed those opportunities up.
You got to get in the end zone, but you got 4 tries. One at the 3, one at the 20, one at the 40, and the other one you took a knee on. Yeah. So you got 2 within the red zone.
Okay.
One in the high red zone, one in the lowest of low red zones. Okay. How did the Buccaneers beat the Packers? Aaron Rodgers gave them that game. Like Tom Brady.
Well, isn't that every game then? Every game comes down to give or take.
It does. It does.
Come on now, we're going to do that.
At the point in which your defense only gives up 10 points, at the point in which your defense only gives up 10 points, you don't have to do a lot. Like, as I look at it, Tom Brady just didn't have to do a lot in his biggest games. And here's what I will say, because people always say, well, you going to knock him for that?
You're going to knock him. That's what I'm thinking.
I'm not going to knock Tom Brady for that, but I'm not going to praise him for that either. I'm just going to sit idle and acknowledge this is what it is. I'm not going to knock Tom Brady for not having to do a ton of work when they beat the Packers. Absolutely not. I'm not going to knock Tom Brady for not having to do a ton of work when they beat the Saints. But what I am going to say is I'm going to delegate respect and responsibility to whom it belongs to. And to me, I look at it like this. The Buccaneers have a better defense. Tom Brady ain't got to do as much. Aaron Rodgers, he realizes each and every time, if I don't show up, we don't win. Remember that Saints game I brought in mind, week 3, the Packers win 37-30 in New Orleans. He did that without Devontae Adams. Aaron Rodgers' game is on the line. He gets a hard count, gets the Saints off sides, and that wins the game. If you look for wins and losses for the Packers, look no further than how Aaron Rodgers performs. On the contrast, you could look at Tom Brady's performance, assume they lost, but they could have won because of how good that defense is. All you got to do is look at Aaron Rodgers in the box score, and that will tell you if the Packers won or lost. That's why he's more valuable.
I like that because I want us to have a little tension up here, a little dissension up here. But it's an easy point to actually squash when you look at the fact that you want to go performance-based. You're saying you can take away Tom Brady, they're going to win still based on those performances. I think that's misleading because if you want to talk about what Green Bay is, everyone thinks is Aaron Rodgers, then you think of Aaron Jones, and you think of Devontae Adams, right? And you know they're all individually great. But at the top of that, in that pecking order, it's obviously Aaron Rodgers. But when you think of Tom Brady, we think of this arsenal, this team around him that is so tremendous offensively especially, that Tom Brady's just being propped up, held up on their shoulders, correct? Not necessarily, right? Let's look at the offensive support Aaron Rodgers has versus the offensive support that Tom Brady has. Rodgers is one of only 2 quarterbacks in the entire NFL that had a top 5 rusher and a top 5 receiver. Wait a minute. Tom Brady didn't have that. Okay, so now we're going to start to say that if Aaron Rodgers isn't there, I don't know who's playing quarterback, but guess what? He has some weapons that not even Tom Brady has. Let's also talk about Tom Brady didn't even have a top 10 rusher or a top 15 receiver. Woo! So now you start looking at it like, what did the Bucs have? Oh, they had a 28th rushing attack in the league. If you want to talk about complimentary football, Tom Brady was pulling guys with him, even though we know those individual assets can play football. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, look, we ain't stupid. But at the same time, as a collective, Tom Brady was working with less in a system he was learning on the fly with no continuity and still went out there and did what Aaron Rodgers did, which is basically get to the same place right now, mano y mano. So I'm looking around and I know that Aaron Rodgers is tremendous. Actually, there's no wrong answer to this question, right? Give me who you don't want. I could go there. But I am going to go when I just know. Put it this way. Let's just go to another sport. Please. Let's just go to another sport. Well, I could go track and field, but I'm going to go to basketball for once. You're on a team, and you're on this team, and you're like, all right, we're stuck at a hump. We're trying to get over that same hump. And then Michael Jordan walks in. I mean, forget, you don't even check if he got on his old man jeans. You don't care what Jordans he has on what number. You're just like, Michael Jordan just walked in, and he's on my team. You know what you start to do? Stuff you never did before, whatever that is. So in response to what you're saying, Aaron Rodgers takes me to this level. But when Tom Brady becomes my teammate, I go out of this world, out of this universe to another stratosphere.
I'm with you because the biggest thing and the biggest argument you have for Tom Brady is an argument in which we cannot quantify. That's the issue at hand. Well, you're saying Tom Brady makes everybody better.
And 6 rings.
And 6 rings.
His quantifying it is, I added all y'all up to 6 rings. What did you add up, Aaron Rodgers? 1? I've done that 6 times. Like, he's 6X to that.
But different teams.
Okay, true. But same effect. Oh, Tampa Bay before Tom Brady. You want to go here? Tom Brady's teams have gone to conference championships 14 of his 19 healthy seasons. 74%. What about Aaron Rodgers? 42%. Oh, damn, Aaron Rodgers. What's going on over there? Talk about the turnover impact, the difference between Jameis Winston and Tom Brady. You want to talk about scoring defense, how bad they were last year, how good they are this year. Like Tom Brady, without even putting his fingerprints on them, that's why he's the GOAT. He ain't even got to touch everything, but everything is going to be affected. It's crazy, man.